Hey guys, Vick here and welcome to another review. Today we are looking at the insanely small Kangside 25 watt box mod. I got this from Gearbest. There's a link in the description to the best price available on Gearbest for this. It's like a direct link in. So go and check that out. It's gearbest.com. And this was just shy of $20. I know what you're thinking. It is small. It is very small. Some comparisons. So I've got a K-Fun on here as well in Stumpy. Got a K-Fun on here. They're both running the same wattage. Quite an insane size difference. It's a very, very small stealth mod. I really don't know what else to show you as a comparison. There's an 18650. Bit bigger, tiny bit bigger than a single 18650 battery. But yeah, it's a 25 watt mod, spring loaded 510. You can put it in voltage mode or wattage mode depending on what you like. It's got a locking feature and it takes 18350 batteries. For the newer vapors out there, they look like this. They were all the rage. We loved them. But the problem with them, obviously, is battery life. And we'll get back to all that once we've been down low and had a proper look at this mod. So we'll go down, have a look, and we'll come back up and review it. See you in a sec. Okay, guys, here we are up close with the Kangside 25 watt Vamo box majiggy. As you can see, it comes in black, blue, red and silver. This is the box that comes with it. Conveniently got a sticker right over the main gist of it, but it's got all this stuff. There's a scratch and check Kangside thing here, a bit of a warning. Get a manual. Not the world's worst, not the world's best. There's a lot of information in there. This is the bit that I wanted to point out. Acceptable resistance 0.2 to 3. Now this runs an 18350 battery, and I know that the chip will help, but I just don't recommend for anyone's sake running it down at that level. It's just not what this sort of mod is useful for. So, but that is there. There's some bits in there. There's the functions it tells you, which is useful. Oh, it also comes with quite unique looking USB jobby. I haven't used it, to be honest. It's very, very short, and I've got others that I use. Okay, so the mod itself, I'll show you like this first. Very, very, I think it's very pretty in itself. This is how I've been using it. This is one of the few atomizers that I use under 25 watts now. Still very much enjoying my K-Fun lights. And I think it looks very pretty like that. I've tried to match up the drip tip with the red button. The red button stands out a bit. Check out the other colours of this as well, but this is the black one. And that is that. So, let's show you some functions. Okay, so you've got your resistance top right, wattage down there, and then voltage top left. If you go 1, 2, 3, a bit like the iStick, it switches to voltage. 1, 2, 3. And you're back to wattage. You can lock it by pressing these two buttons. Locked, it says locked double click, but it doesn't mean that, it just means press them both. Not like in a computer style double click type thing. Off and on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it says bye. Let that go away fully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. And it is back on. The ohms reading has been very fairly accurate, to be honest. It doesn't say too much when it fires, it just tells you how long you fired for. Just less than a second there. I think that looks like a puff count in the top right, but you'd have to be the Flash to see it in time. And that is that. So moving around, we'll take the atomizer off. No problem with the thread so far, the 510. It's a spring loaded 510 in there, and there's been no problems. I really like this sort of shelf that it sits on as well, actually, if I'm honest. Just something about that. The whole thing is very, very solid. Presumably it's some sort of chrome thing up here. But the whole thing, I cannot stress enough how solid the whole thing feels. So you got your fire button, really big fan of that. Obviously it's saying check atomizer now. You've got your charge port here. You've got your up and down buttons, as you can see, all really clicky, really solid buttons. no rattle or anything like that. And then the final bit of this, you've got Kangside written there. Final bit of this is your battery, and you just turn this like this, and an 18350 pops out. And we'll talk about the 18350 when we go back up top. So see you in a sec. Okay, so that was the Kangside 25 watt box mod up close. Let's just get straight into the positives and negatives of this mod. The negatives just are what they are. The negatives are literally, a lot of you out there have probably moved past the style of vaping that this mod is for. This mod is for under 25 watt vaping. So if you're using a sub tank, if you're using a dripper, if you're using anything like that, you know, some of these like big like foggers and billows and stuff that you're going over 25 watts, it's just simply not for you. This is 25 watt maximum, and it's very much designed for things like K-Fun. The Nautilus would go really good on here, depending on how you felt about it. A Genesis, I don't see many people rocking Genesis on regulated mods, but horses for courses. So that's your standout negative. That's your standout problem. It stops at 25 watts. Now, I know for a lot of you that's not a problem, but I know for a lot of you it is a problem. So I just have to get that out there. Also, as I showed you up close in the manual, in the specs, it does sort of allow you to vape down to 0.2, and I do not recommend that at all. For me, 0.5 would be absolutely end of the line, really. And even if you're at 0.2, 0.5, 25 watts at that point is not very many volts. So I don't know, I just feel like the chip should just stop at 0.5, 0.6, something like that, because it's just not for those type of vapors. That being said, I do rock my K-Fun quite a lot. Obviously you saw earlier I've got 2 K-Fun setups, and I do like my K-Funs, and I still vape like that, around the 19-20 watt mark with a 1 ohm coil in a K-Fun. I still very much enjoy that style of vaping. Not so much for clouds, but the flavour's very good, and it's that sort of smoking cessation. I think it's the closest thing I still do to smoking, really, because it's just that sort of draw, that sort of vapour production. That's just how I am, that's how you are. I'm sure there's loads of you that still vape like that as well. So that's one standout negative. The second one, again, because it is what it is the fact that it takes 18350 batteries. Realistically, you're only going to get 600 mAh, 700 mAh. That's pushing it as well. You know, you're only going to get a couple of hours of use. So what I would recommend is getting a handful of these. Unless you've got access to wherever you're going, you've got access to USB charging, which does work fine, and I have used. Unless you've got access to definite charging, you need to be safely carrying a handful of these with you as well. It just depends on what you want. It depends how pocket friendly you need your vape to be, and if you really do need a stealth setup, I've not seen one that can do 25 watts that's as stealthy as this, if I'm being completely honest. So those are the two things, that are the only two real like negatives I can level at this. The positives, if this is a suitable mod for you, the positives are endless. It is built amazingly firmly. There are no faults, quirks, aspects to it. It's an absolutely rock solid bit of kit. It reminds me when the iStick first came out and everyone assumed that was going to be cheap and nasty, but it's actually really solid. I think it looks great. There's something about the red button that I quite like. There are up 3 other colours to pick from as well. But it's just solid, and I think it actually looks quite good as well. Other positives, I really like the buttons. Clicky, nice, solid, no wobble, no rattle. They feel really solid on there. This won't get too many fingerprints or anything. This is a really nice sort of finish on here. Venting on the bottom cap there. Nice and easy. You don't need a screwdriver or any sort of fancy tricks to open this cap. It's a little bit crunchy, this threading, but it is what it is. And it's nice and easy to take out. You've got USB charging, spring-loaded 510. The ohms reading is accurate. I love that you can switch it to volts, because I do like to do that. And yeah, it's got a locking function, but it's so quick to turn on and off. I've just been doing that. It's great. There's no problems with this at all. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and it does it very well. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed by this. If for whatever reason you need something very stealthy, here it is. Here it is. Enjoy. What more can I say? I think it's a cracking mod. 20 quid. It's less than 20 quid. It's like $20. It's just insane. Insanely cheap. Go and check it out. Go and pick one up. Novelty value. You know, novelty value, if nothing else. So I think it's cool. I think it's dinky. So yeah, so go and check it out. I've been Vick, and I'll see you again on the next one.